Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul Al-Fatihah binti Ahmad Azri and I'm from group 51. So today I'll be explaining on how to turn on the MSP. First of all, we need to apply permit 1 week before to notify the consumer that we need to turn off the power supply. And then, in the Lvsb room, we need to wear full PPE for safety purpose. And then, we can check the safety measure in the Lvsb room, such as the fire extinguisher, first aid kit, the rubber mat that had been lying in front of the Lvsb panel, and then lastly the single line diagram for the system. Before turning on the MSP1, we need to make sure the outgoing load and the ACB is turned off. After that, turn on the MSP1 by pulling the switch down, and then we will see the light indicator will light up. Next step, we need to connect the ACB to the bus bar by charging it manually. Get the charging handle in the ACB compartment and insert it in the charging slot of ACB. Turn the handle clockwise until the status from disconnect change to the connect status. And then we can put back the handle in the ACB compartment. And then we need to charge the coil manually by pulling the switch up and down until the status changing from discharge to charge status. Now the ACB is charged but still in off condition. Before turning on the ACB, you need to make sure you are standing on the rubber mat. And then after that, you can switch on the ACB. After switching on the MCB, you will see the light indicator for bus bar will light up. Then we must inform and get verification from the consumer side that we need to turn on the power supply. After getting the verification, we need to turn on the power factor capacitor first. Is to make sure the power factor regulator can monitor the system power factor. Then turn on the MCB switch one by one. After that, we can check the current value for MSP1. If there is any usage, then the screen will show the current value. We also can check the voltmeter here if the voltage is in stable condition. Now, the MSP1 is fully energized and already give power supply to the consumer side. And then we can repeat all this step for the turning on of MSP2. So that is all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum to Doctor. My name is Siti Nurujana. So I will explain about the bus bar coupling for MSP1 and MSP2. So the reason we are doing bus bar coupling is when we want to do a maintenance at the MSP, but at the same time the load needs power supply, so we can do a coupling there so that the load can get a power supply from the other MSP. So for this experiment, let's say we want to do a maintenance to the SCB, so that we need to do a bus bar coupling. We do the SCB, we need to do a maintenance at SCB1. So the procedure is the load and the power factor capacitor bank was turned off. So we turn off it by pushing the black button to the right, and then the current status was checked at the ammeter, and the value was to be made sure to be 0. So after that the SCB was turned off, and we can see the bus bar was de-energized. The bus bar was de-energized when the indicator lamp was at the upper of the indicator lamp was not light up. So that means the bus bar was de-energized. So next, the MSB1. So the MSB1 power supply was turned off from the isolator, and the SCB was taken out until the until the isolated position by we rotate the handle anti-clockwise. So the handle was like this. So we put this inside the black hole there, and then we rotate it anti-clockwise until it reached the isolated position. So then the LCB now can do the maintenance on the LCB. Next, the LCB key. So now we want to do a coupling because the load need power supply. So the LCB key was taken out and put in the middle of the key space at the beside the isolator of MSB1. So the number 1 key was taken out and put at the MSB1 isolation pipe. And then the number 3 key was taken out and put at the MSB2 isolation pipe. So the isolator of MSB2 was turned on first. This is because we need to supply the MSB2 power to the MSB1. So we turn on the MSB2 isolator first, then we turn on the isolated MSB1. So the bus bar was re-energized. The bus bar was re-energized at the, you can see at the indicator lamp of MSB1. The bus bar part was light up. So that means it was the bus bar was re-energized. Then the power factor capacitor bank and the load was turned on. So that is how bus bar coupling was performed.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Hamiza binti Arifin with metric number AE190072. So I would like to present the normal supply restore for the Lvsb system and operation. So before we start the normal supply restore, we need to make sure we have wear the PPE. We also have to apply the permit and notify the consumer that we have to close the power supply for maintenance purposes. We will start the normal supply restore when the consumers are ready. First, turn off the MCCB and MSB1 one by one. After that, we have to turn off the power factor capacitor and check the current status, which should be 0 ampere. Then we turn on the isolator 1 and check the bus supply indicator light if there is no lighting. Then we turn on the isolator 2 and we remove the key from isolator 2 and insert into isolator 1. Then we take the number 1 key and turn it clockwise. Remove the key and insert into the insert it into the ACB. Then turn it clockwise to indicate unlock. Next, turn on the power supply and the indicator light should be lighting. Then we connect the ACB. Then we connect the ACB with the bus bar. Use the charger handler, insert into the ACB and turn it clockwise until the ACB turn into connect position, and then we remove the charging handler. Pull the charger handler up and down to charge the coil and then turn on the ACB by pushing the green button. And next, check the bus bar supply and voltage status. After that, we have to notify the consumer in order to turn on the supply. When the consumer are ready, we turn on the power factor capacitor and then turn on the MCCB. Next, we check the current status and we will wait until it is in stable condition. Lastly, records all of the activity in the logbook for maintenance report. That's all from me.